Hey, Pug. Sorry that you seem to be getting harassed by city officials in regards to your city bylaws, enforcement officers, and seeming to think that you have everything else that's not going for you. Uh, from the sound of it, it sounds almost as if you have neighbors that have decided to put a complaint as to when it comes to an unsightly premises. If you have anything stored on your property and it looks garish, it looks like a junkyard, it looks like it's, even if it's in order, that it's still stockpiled, um, it still qualifies as an unsightly premises. If it happens outside of the city, it falls within provincial environmental bylaws, or not bylaws, law. Period, not bylaws. If it falls within city limits, it's not really an environmental concern for the environment department itself, for the province. But at least not here in New Brunswick. I don't know how it is for Ontario, but I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same. It falls within the city council to resolve the issue first and foremost. And if that doesn't succeed, they then fall upon provincial inspectors to actually go and inspect your property. Uh, One thing I can advise you on is that uh, bylaw officials, city officials, do need to get your permission to inspect your property before they do so. If they do go onto your property without proper um, permit or permission, they are trespassing. Uh, Provincial inspectors, especially those of the environmental kind, can inspect the property if they have suitable concerns. In other words, if they've got um, a thought that there may be something wrong with your property that they need to investigate. I'm trying to think of what the official term is or the legal term that they use in court. Um, and that's not coming up to mind. Similar to a police officer searching your vehicle while he stops you for a speeding ticket, they can do so under specific grounds, but not just out of just a hankering for causing you extreme inconvenience. That can be done. Um, I'm happy that you've given them some leeway to what they've come up to you, but I find that if they found, what I'm finding a little bit annoying is that a good city inspector or bylaw official, regardless of what they want to call them, we'll just call them the dicks, because the people that are properly trained are more than happy to actually discuss it with you instead of using an iron fist grip towards the conversation. These dicks tend to do their jobs quite well, where they become asinine and anal retentive. That's not to say that not everyone that fulfills these positions are in the same position, because I've known a few that are actually quite highly educated, and some that possibly just passed their grade 12 and got the job and are still there due to seniority um, and union. The thing that I'm noticing here is that why would the bylaw officer come to you more than once if they went there once, saw everything that needed to be seen, and decided to tell you that this is the only thing we need you to do? You complied. They come back, inspect, take pictures, fine. There is such a thing as harassment in this particular case, because they seem to be picking and nitpicking on many, 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 many things. As far as I know, there's no bylaw for building sheds unless you decide to build mini barns that take up 3/4 of your yard. Um, I don't know why that would be a problem if it's a small shed. Cargo containers, I can see the issue. Vehicles, be it a small tractor, tractor parts, or tires or whatnot, stored on your property, without it being properly stored, that can be an issue also. I'm trying to think why they'd actually be going after you, and it doesn't make much sense. Okay, granted, You've done things in your past that would actually attract negativity towards you, but you've also paid for your past and you've made good on your own developments to avoid putting yourself into risk with the authorities. And as far as I know, this isn't authority, this is bullying more than anything else. No policeman has come over to your place. They declined to be filmed. Next time that they do come, I do suggest you to record the discussion. You're entitled as the homeowner to have it recorded. If you want it recorded and they don't want it videotaped, you point the camera down at your feet. You record with the mic. Record it, because this is ridiculous. For the fact that he decides to send you something with the document that was improperly written, with key entry errors and grammar issues, and things that you didn't agree to in person, that's say so. In fact, if you present this to court, it's going to become a battle of who said what to whom. You had another person on your site with him that was his witness, and you had somebody with you on your property also that was your witness. It's a pity that it wasn't recorded, at least audio in audio format, because at the very least you would have that backing up everything. But even then, in court, with the fact that the document is improperly prepared with errors, it does put bad judgment or bad vibes onto the document, and the judge, depending on how the judge sits and sees the problem, may actually rule in your favor more than anything else. Because if you don't get proper service, if the document is improperly done, it's invalid, null and void. However, I don't know if typos and bad grammar qualify for that. In fact, I don't think they do. It's only if they miss dates or anything else that needs to be done on the document to render it official or legal that it would actually count. I'm sorry, bud. I really am. I really wish that I could be there to give you further assistance physically by going down to the city office to search for their bylaws and find out exactly what's going on and why they're nitpicking on you. And sometimes just putting a direct query to the mayor's office or to the engineering department for the city or the town that you're in is enough to get the details. Never let it be said that being a homeowner and a property owner means you can do whatever you wish with your property and that you can do whatever you wish with your home. I know this better than most for the simple fact that working as an environmental inspector, I had to be the one for 6 months of my livelihood to actually go up to property owners and say, I'm sorry, but you decided to bulldoze a creek without proper permits. You have two choices: pay a fine, lose the equipment that you actually used under seizure, or reestablish everything as it was and better. Meaning, if the water course was altered without proper permits or without proper authority, and it was illegal to do so, they would need to reinstitute the local environment as it was and cleaner than what it was prior to them getting to it. They didn't like it. In fact, they didn't like it a lot. I had to also tell property owners that had oil spills happen on their property that they were liable and needed to clean it up themselves, which unfortunately is true here in Canada. If you've got an oil tank, it spills in your basement, spills in your backyard, you need to have insurance to cover that. If you don't, you're up the creek without your paddles, literally, because you are liable for the environmental damage done. So it's not inexpensive, but it is costly. Anyways, Pug, keep us posted on your issues, and hopefully everything goes well. Have a nice one.